Alright, anywho. We're going to do one more standard deck today. We're going to go ahead and play some Jeskai Hero to wrap things up. So Hero, as always, refers to Hero of the Precinct One here. Got a 2/2 that makes 1/1s when you cast multicolored spells. This deck's got a fairly aggressive slant here. We've got Skyknight Vanguard that puts a 1/1 into play. We've got some History of Benalia. We got some heroic reinforcements. History Hero Curve is quite powerful. Aurelia is another aggressive piece of top end. So let's see. Hopefully it's a little bit more successful than the Diviner deck we just played. At the very least, we should easily complete our quest that's attacking with creatures. No, I didn't stream the Modern event over the weekend. It was a traditional Swiss event, so there was just like infinite downtime between matches. Most of my matches were done in 30 minutes or less, and most rounds took 55 plus minutes. So I was like setting a timer and hanging out with the family between rounds. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. Double Gideon kind of sucks and no 2-drop sucks. Feels bad, man. Yeah, seems super reasonable. This is a knight for history, which is sweet. It's unfortunate this isn't a knight. I feel like if this was a knight, we'd see real decks with these two in it. It's a good pickup. I'm gonna just draw another land here. Morning Fish Lamp. Yeah, maybe I should upload the matches. I don't know. I just assumed people didn't want to watch. I actually recorded my first 6 rounds from the event this past weekend, but I didn't do any commentary. Because, like, even the MCQ event I did commentary for because I was doing content that ended up being really popular content. But, like, it is... I play worse when I'm talking. Even without chat, it is still an extra distraction to be talking while I'm playing. Maybe I'll upload the matches. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything to upload them, right? I'll make a note to do that. I'll get that done this week. Yeah, it's just like the problem is it's taking time to review the past matches. Like I'd rather just play more matches. Like in terms of like content that gets watched, like sitting there rewatching old content as opposed to just making new stuff tends to be less than ideal. Arena servers are global. Oh, we're so dead. Currently meeting expectations. Lava Coil sounds great. Lyra sounds great. Clarion sounds great too, actually. Gideon and Teferi are hard to protect. I know that this gives lifelink, which is kind of okay against aggro, but he just gets attacked down, so I think he's not good enough most of the time. This is probably bad if we're on defense a lot of the time. Trim a couple of those. Split the difference on Tajic and heroic reinforcements. I mentioned playing Tempo or Wizards this week, but neither of those are in the deck queue. Can we expect to see those? I don't know when you can expect to see them, but they'll be getting played at some point. I think someone actually added Jeskai Tempo to the queue today, So I'm probably going to bump that up into tomorrow. I will probably play some Wizards at some point on stream. It'll happen a whole lot sooner if they get added, but, you know, Friday's not that far away. So it'll happen at some point between now and Friday. So, Honor Guard is good against Mono Red because it turns off Goblin Chain Whirler and Vanishal Pyromancer, and also a 1/3 stat line just blocks well. Honor Guard's also very good against the Risen Reef Cavalier of Thorns decks. Yeah, Teamer Elementals. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him. Are you happy with yourself? Opponents start much less aggressive this game. Super happy to see a Fry get used on our 2-drop, but we've got a Lyra in hand. Just like, yes, please. Their start is real bad. Our deck's kind of neat. Rotting Registorm. Assume this is going to come down. We'll see if they have a 2-drop in hand as well. No, we're just going double 2-drop. Okay. Go. This is my Lyra. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And Tajic here actually protects her from Fry. The Diviner deck was very bad. Just like most mid-range decks in this format, unfortunately. Friar. Do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I didn't attack with the Tajic because if they blocked with this, they could trade it for the Tajic. And I didn't want them to trade it for the Tajic. Yeah, the flavor text on Tajic coming up here. So Tajic doesn't put an icon on the creatures, but if you look, this is shimmering, right? So you can see the hero and this. It's not super obvious, but like it shows it. That's rude. Doesn't matter, still dead. Your crew for my freedom. I'm gonna attack you for 11 on the backswing. Cool. Coolio. You have a 1-drop. Light him up. You're on fire. Yeah, opponent still dead on board. They're dead without the strike in my hand. I think I'm happy that I boarded here. Maybe the Clarion's not good enough. Their deck goes a little bit bigger than I was expecting them to. Maybe our deck doesn't suck. Maybe. I mean, like, this deck's got an aggressive slant to it. So, like, unlike the last deck we played that was pretty mopey and mid-rangey, like, this one at least is going to have, like, you know, like, hero history, heroic reinforcements draws where you just get to run some people over. And, like, Deputy of Detention is genuinely good against these Field of the Dead decks. So to set a low bar, I think this deck has more potential than the previous one we just played. Yeah, so if you Clarion while you have Tajic out, only your Tajic will die. Because he saves the rest of them from non-combat damage. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, Dusk. The aggressive decks, like, this deck definitely blurs into the line of mid-range. Like, it's more aggressive than the last deck we played, but that's a pretty low bar to clear. So I feel like we blur into mid-range often enough that we're going to struggle a lot of the time. CN seems fine. This card with Tajic is pretty sweet because Tajic mentors onto this. Can eventually get it up to a 3/3, which is awesome. Throw back the redundant steam vent here. Opponent not having a 1-drop is really good for us. Hey, and yeah, thanks for the sub, Gifty. People play this card? Why do you have so much hate, opponent? What did my deck ever do to you? One lightning strike or lava coil, please. Ooh, they're gonna be a little bit sad that they burned Legion's End. Well, I appreciate it nonetheless, Enya. Will do. Yeah, like, there aren't really any good white aggressive decks in the format right now, so, like, this card doesn't line up well against many of the meta decks. But, you know, again, like, there's just enough different things in this format that, like, you're gonna get stomped on. I'm just gonna cross my fingers that they don't have a Legion's End or whatever here. Noxious Grasp on that is an incredibly good sign for us. Yeah, Vampires is basically White Weenie that has reach in it, right? Wow, they have so many hateful cards for our deck. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I can't believe they attacked with the pro-white creature there. That's incredibly greedy. There aren't a lot of white vampires, so I feel like Unchained Berserker is pretty medium there. I wish there was a good heroic reinforcements deck in this format. I do find this card incredibly satisfying to cast. Just like punch. Scale of 1 to dead. What are we working with here, opponent? Do you have like Ritual Assault in your deck? No, you're just dead? Okay, cool. I was gonna be kind of tilted if they played a sweeper. Not gonna lie, I was gonna be kind of tilted if they played a sweeper. It's just like their aggro deck playing a sweeper is just like not something that's out of the realm of possibility because people just kind of do whatever they want. Two, three, four. Gonna close the door now. on this game. Yeah, the fact that the Esper mid-range and control like in the format just like randomly burns you out with Othakayas as a tilt sometimes. You're just like, why is the control deck burning me out? Why? I would like to give my opponent a thumbs up for their username of Scavenging Booze. I just want you to know I appreciate you, opponent. Wherever you are out there, someone appreciates you. History of Benalia versus Wild Growth Walker. If I stepped in a time machine and gone back to January. Anybody know? Let's just beep and attack. They get a free block, then they take 4, 5, 6, 12. They skip their free block, got it. Simpler times, yep. Simpler times indeed. Alright, well we get to run this play 2 turns in a row. The problem is that, like, they're just, like, gaining 6 again this turn. I guess they have to take 2 to play this, so they're going to 8. Yeah, the difference is my knights aren't big anymore. Okay.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
It's like, I don't know, figure it out. 4, 5, 6, 7. They weren't dead there. I guess their deck doesn't have removal in it, so they were just gonna get run down. That makes sense, I suppose. Hey, remember when someone was asking about those Tocatli honor guards a second ago? Pepperidge Farmer remembers. Gideon's probably a little slow. Do I want Dovin's Vita or Lava Coil in this matchup? Lava Coil versus Time Raveler. Probably prefer Lava Coil. Do I want Deputy of Detention? Maybe I want fewer of these. Yeah, I think I want fewer of those. I don't think I want to cut all of them because I'm not always going to have an Honor Guard. And Honor Guard's good enough that some of the time that I draw Tocatli Honor Guard and draw Deputy, it's like fine because Honor Guard's shutting off a significant portion of their deck. Alright, let's draw an untapped land in 2 draws here, so we just like turn 2 Honor Guard and make them sad. Alright, any untapped land, please. Papi! Concession Honor Guard? Concession Honor Guard? Show me that wub wub. Make my no button light up. Rude. Rude. So, if they Tamiyo, I'm gonna reinforcements. If they don't Tamiyo, we'll go Hero Vindicator. well, this game should be pretty over here. It's just like, beep beep, hop in our reinforcement-shaped Jeep and run them down next turn. They're playing the blue-green Quasi-Cavalier deck. And I think this is a good example of, like, this format's definitely a little bit inbred right now. Like, there's a lot of people who are, like, arms racing to the top. And I think that's honestly part of the reason why the Dino getting unbanned tomorrow is gonna be so good, is gonna be a good thing, because it's gonna, like, take some of these people who are, like, playing these really greedy mid-range decks and, like, pull them back down towards reality. Like, a world where they, like, actually get punished. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And PJ Frost is actually Jesus. Yeah, it's gonna punish all these mopey non-interactive decks. Things like the Golos field deck that's been running around. Does a lot of good work there. All of Allie's decks, yeah. Allie was very upset on Twitter when they announced they're unbanning it. So I assume it's good against most of his decks. Yeah, you can 10 out of 10 submit decks with Frostodon already. In fact, so Frostodon's getting unbanned tomorrow, which means there's an update. Which means there's an update to the client. So I'm actually not going to be streaming Standard tomorrow, because every other time for like the last 3 updates, there's been an update to Arena. I've not been able to update and just had to cancel Standard anyways. So tomorrow's going to be all Modern. And then Thursday we'll be playing some with Frostodon. Is it true that you're using a $10 keyboard? Yeah, I have just a generic HP branded throwaway USB keyboard. I just type it 80 to 100 words per minute. So when I type, it sounds loud because I type quickly. Yeah, correct, DOS. And in fact, if you watch when I sideboarded that game, I boarded down on deputies, but I didn't board all of them out. He does hate everything red, yep. You're not wrong. Logitech sponsorship would be great. While my keyboard is cheap, this is a Logitech MX510 mouse. This mouse is almost old enough to drive. It's survived probably 4 digits worth of hours into like Counter-Strike and Guild Wars and lots of other things growing up. Someday when this mouse breaks, I'm going to be very sad and confused and unsure what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
I am Scala's vengeance, and I'm coming for you next.
Logitech is the Nokia of computer mice. It really is. Just indestructible and lasts forever. I don't think that's true at all. I think Griselbrand is fine. I think we're actually playing Griselbrand probably tomorrow or Thursday. It's pretty close to the top of the queue. It's a little bit less volatile than it was previously, but I think in general the archetype is still fine. So, I would like to point out, for instance, by defining mid-range for you, Drakari. So, a lot of decks like I just talked about, like the Golos Field deck, for example, that's not a mid-range deck. Golos Field is like a ramp deck, or is a ramp deck at best, and it's like a combo deck at worst. Because, like, it's playing a bunch of Nexus of Fate with Golos. So, like, they're greedy because they're just trying to be linear, and they're having no respect for people that are potentially going under them. So they're greedy in the aspect that anybody who has a little bit of, anyone who has even a little bit of pressure tends to get under them. Going face with one of the 2/2s didn't matter because they had a 2/3, so they would have just blocked the one attacking their face. So it was functionally the same to attack Vivian as it was to attack their face. The end result is identical. And in fact, attacking their face is strictly worse because it's less click optimal. So I end up with the same result, but I've clicked more times. I'm all about min-maxing the little things here, Greaseball. In fact, you could probably argue that I should have just left a token back, right? Like, I should have attacked a token and 2 knights into Vivian because I wasn't going to hit them anyway, so the actual optimal line is leaving a token back. Yeah, but, like, then Vivian's still around JVL. I mean, the actual answer is just, like, we were dead and it didn't matter. So, like, discussing the optimal line is kind of whatever, but I think in the play-to-win scenario, we're supposed to kill Vivian that turn. Yeah, didn't you just hear me talking about my mouse and how it's only got so many days left in it? I should backtrace approximately to when I bought this thing so we can give it we can have a birthday party for it.
Right on schedule.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I really like the Sultai field deck is because it's not just hoping to linear people like a lot of these other Scapeshift decks. It's a deck that's like actually interactive. I mean, I don't mind my mouse and keyboard. Like, if someone could make, like, I'm an adult who has money. Like, if someone could make me a compelling argument for why having a better keyboard and mouse would improve my quality of life, I'm, like, open to listening to a discussion. But just, like, my keyboard's cheap, so it needs to be replaced. I don't know if I buy that line. I actually bought an ergonomic mouse at one point that was a vertical mouse, because I'm into taking care of my body, and the ergonomic mouse really just didn't do it for me. Because the clicking noises are fantastic. Have you heard me type when I type? My $10 keyboard makes clicking noises. Okay, thanks. Probably because they don't really care about the Teferi shellers. Like, Teferi static text doesn't really exist here. They care if he can bounce something again later, but even that's not that big of a deal. They tend to reinforcements here.
Now what?
They're going to 1. And do this plus Tajic here. I think we can run them down. Can you explain to me or link me an article that explains how a proper mechanical keyboard helps prevent carpal tunnel? Because I've never heard that argument. So I assume there's science behind it. I've never heard that claim before. It sounds like bunk to justify an expensive keyboard. How many packs do you need to buy to finish the average arena deck? I am told that most 3-color decks can be built for around $100. However, the exact price varies, and I can't tell you the exact price because Arena's model is predatory. I don't know, that's just all of these games have a very predatory, I can't tell you exactly what things cost to them because they want it to be confusing so you don't realize how much you're spending. The price of a given deck is going to vary depending on how many rares and mythics it contains in it. I can't tell you exactly how much it costs based on that number, but I will say the more of those, the more expensive your deck's going to be. If you dump lavender oil on your keyboard, you'll avoid carpal tunnel because you won't be able to use your keyboard. Yep. And getting the first reasonable deck is really key in Magic Arena, because once you have your first reasonable deck, you can get all the daily quests pretty easily for the most part, which allows you to snowball your collection from there. Yikes. Yeah, my recommendation for people if they don't want to put a lot of money into Arena is always spend enough to get a tier 1 deck and then go from there. Like your experience on average will likely be a lot better starting with a tier 1 deck rather than trying to start from nothing. That's the single best part about this job, Dig, is when I spend money on Arena, it just goes into a business expense column. It's like, yep, needed gems again this week, babe. It's cool. I put it on the spreadsheet for the end of the year. I am super ready for Land War Elves to rotate. As someone who, for a long time, didn't understand why they had avoided printing Land War Elves and Elvish Mystic for so long, this standard season has really made me hope they never print that card again. It's not a card that needs to exist. I don't have an LLC currently. I was actually just talking to the guy that helps manage my investment stuff. And I think we're going to be incorporating in some way so we can put money into a Roth 401k or something like that you need to incorporate a business to have. But as of right now, I don't have that. Christy and I have been responsible adults looking at retirement options. But the other part of it is like the real we're just super dead, right? The cynic in me, like I look at retirement options and I'm just like, will the planet be inhabitable when I turn 55? Will there still be a United States of America? Is this something I should be concerning myself with? So for liability protection, Brightstar, we have a large umbrella policy on our personal insurance that covers things like that. So I'm covered thoroughly on that end. Thanks for the 19 months, Phoenix Lance. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. It's gonna be easier to find beachfront property when you retire. Yep. You can't retire from us. Listen, if people still want to listen to me ramble when I'm 50 or 60, I'll probably still be around. At some point, once we have a house paid off, an appropriate amount of money saved, though, I'll probably stream less than I do now, though. Like it'll be like a 10 to 15 hour week endeavor instead of a 30 to 50. You know, a decade from now. I mean, I was doing this when it made no money. I like my job. It's a good time. It's like Christy and I were talking about like college savings for the kids too, and if that's something we want to do. And I'm kind of like of the opinion that like if college education hasn't been significantly reformed by the time my 5-year-old is 18, I assume it's all going to be a giant disaster anyways. It better look drastically different or everybody's screwed anyways, so what's the point in saving for it? I'm a pessimist in case anybody was wondering. If I had to set an over-under on how long you'd like to stream, what would I set it at? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, as long as this is an option, I don't think I'll ever stop doing it altogether. Trousers! Thank you for the 2/3 of a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, we definitely severely undervalue trade employees in the United States. The push that we have for everyone to go to college in the United States is wrong in a lot of ways. It's a big part of what created the student debt crisis in this country. No worries, Trousers. Glad you're enjoying your game. Missed on the land to get reinforcements here, unfortunately, but that's fine. Double history with them missing a land and a removal spell here should be more than enough. Like, as someone, another part of the issue with the student loan thing is a lot of these kids, they didn't understand what they were signing. Like, we don't let people drink alcohol or buy alcohol till they're 21, but we let them sign contracts that are going to put them into 6 figures in debt for the rest of their life when they're 17 and 18. Like, the society in the United States is so messed up on so many levels. It really shows who's bought and paid for what at the government level. Like, I would teach finite mathematics classes to people who like didn't comprehend how to calculate simple and compound interest, and it's like, you have a student loan for $20,000 a semester, but you don't understand how compound interest works. Like, that's why kids are in debt for forever, because they have no idea what they're signing up for. Yeah, it's definitely true, Marty. When you follow the money, you understand how America is how it is. Yeah, for the most part, Brightstar, there's a big push from parents to tell kids you have to go to college, and now there's like we did what you told us to, and now we got screwed, and they're like, well, it's your problem, Pound Sand. I was very fortunate growing up that like my mother understood what was going on to a degree and was like, no, you're going to community college. Ain't got no money for no fancy school. You go to community college, and then you go to a state university, and you work while you do it so you don't go broke. If more people had guiding principles like that, a lot of people would be far less worse off. But Jeff, capitalism, right? Ooh, they have another kind of weak draw here. Maybe they're missing white mana? My mom worked in the school system and told me to do what you did. Yep. I was a nerd, believe it or not. So I always had good grades. So like, I worked to pay for community college, and then I had a scholarship for the university that I went to for the last 2 years, and then I also didn't pay for my master's degree because I worked as a TA while I did it. That was the only reason I have a master's degree, is because it didn't cost me anything. I was like, yeah, let's not. So did I just Aurelia here? How do we feel about Aurelia? Yeah, law school's almost a little bit different. I do think there's a lot of people that take out loans for law school that probably shouldn't end up there, but like, at least that's not just like a 4-year degree. Tajic pushes 6 this turn. Aurelia pushes 4. I don't have to shock to Aurelia. I think I'm gonna Tajic. Yeah, part of that too is definitely issue full effect. It's a really deep issue, right? Like, there are people that don't understand loans. There's also like schools that will give you a $40,000 a year degree in basket weaving. Like so during undergrad, one of the jobs that I had was working the technical back end for a children's theater company. And there were people who were actors in the children's theater company that made less than I did doing technical stuff, who had 4-year degrees from private universities to do that. And it's like they spent an absurd amount of money getting this degree that then like paid them less than I did while I was still an undergrad doing technical stuff. I think I just Aurelia and 5 them here. I think that's the plan. The big reason I doubled major, one I like, one to make money. That's a great way to do it. It's a very, very realistic approach to it. All right, so they should be dead to this Deputy of Detention. All right, that was a good draw. Let's me kill them. All right, well, you know, we beat vampires. We beat, this deck is doing at least what we expected to do, right? Like, we're generating occasionally aggressive draws that actually run people out of the game, which is nice. Yeah, good clean there. When vampires had its good draw game 1, it did run us down, but like, their average or slightly slow draws we were able to keep up with still, which was great. Hey, Big Beanie Cap, thank you for the 11 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Thanks, Phoenix. A little moderation goes a long way when it comes to having civil discussions online. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. So what Askerix said there, 30K in debt and they're currently working IT, and they probably would have been better off if they would have just started working right away instead of doing school. Because, like, now there's so many people that have degrees in general that, like, the experience is worth more than the piece of paper, right? I kind of hope this can be my job for the foreseeable future, because how do I, like, what's this gap on your resume, Jeff? What does full-time meme for 3.5 years mean? Can you elaborate?
I can take a hit or two.
Well, our hand is not particularly aggressive here. I was watching your videos on YouTube last week, and it made me smile because you called John Oliver a national treasure. It's a shame he's on HBO. He is. He does really good stuff. You know, I don't actually have HBO. I watch a lot of his stuff on YouTube. Ink We're Dead. They just hit double lands on the Auroch trigger. That's true. I do have video evidence of what I do. Yeah, the big segments go up on YouTube every week, which is nice. Yikes. We have Deputy of Detention in our main deck, which helps this matchup a little bit. Tocatli Honor Guard's good here, right? We can swap that in. Would I rather have Gideon or Teferi Time Raveler? Model. I'll put model. That's what it's going under. Cam girl. What did you do at this job as an influencer? Well, I took money from my audience to do whatever they requested that I do while I had a video camera aimed at myself. My audience was predominantly male between ages 25 and 34. And there's no way that description could be in any way construed in a manner that's unsavory or confusing. Oh. We dress up with costumes on occasion, you know. Use the vegetable man on the costume. It's probably A+ suggestion. Our draw's nice and aggressive here. We get to heroic reinforcements, run them down. This is a pretty slow draw from them. I guess, like, our deck's a bit of a bruise. They probably didn't realize how aggressive we could potentially be. Because our hand game one was kind of mopey. Is it good solid draw? Hopefully we can hit one of our Tocatli Honor Guards on the draw, because, like, without one drops, we're gonna have a hard time getting under them. What did you do at this job as an influencer? All right, so we got the Honor Guard. We're again hoping to hit that untapped land here, so we can play a thing. Oh yeah, we're a top 10 esports, right? Hasbro told me we're a top 10 esport. I was a top streamer and part of a top 10 esport, chat. Feels like they have a Doomblade. They shocked this in. I think I need to play this out because they can what's it call me next turn? Yarok me. Probably getting cast down. Yeah. And again, like, this is a good example of, like, this deck has somewhat aggressive draws, but I think a lot of our draws are going to bridge into a more mid-rangey area. And these, that's a great thank you, Paula. I appreciate that. I wanted to save that one for later. The command is perfect. Like, when we bridge into these more mid-rangey draws, our hand's just not good enough to get under this deck. These types of decks. Can I ever beat this 5/6? I feel like I can't if they have a removal spell, right? Yikes, they're gonna take my deputy. I did not shoot the sheriff, but they thought I erasured my deputy. Do 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 do. Our saving grace might be that they haven't found field with it yet. Maybe. Maybe. I'm convinced if you don't have 5 mana on turn 3 in the field deck, you just turtle and die. Well, that's definitely true. That's definitely true if you don't also have interaction. So, like, that's why there's so much cheap removal in the deck. Because if you don't have cheap removal and you also don't hit your 5 mana, your extra mana soon, you're like, you do just brick and die. So in general, good tempo decks are decks that have disruption plus a clock. And while traditionally that disruption is things like counterspells, like the mono blue deck, there's also been tempo decks, historically speaking, that play like good discard spells. Things like Kite Sail, Freebooter, or Thought Erasure can also be slotted into tempo decks. Generally speaking, they'll have disruption that interacts with the stack or your opponent's hand in the form of discard spells or counter spells. So mono blue is actually a great example of a very traditional tempo deck. I don't think trading up on mana is a strict requirement. So like cards like Thoughtseize and Thought Erasure are technically mana negative, but you can use those cards with what they do to like break up your opponent's curve. Yeah, Death Shadow is a tempo or combo deck, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, Modern Humans is a good example of a tempo deck that doesn't involve counter spells. Agree with that. Death Shadow airs into the realm of combo deck with its Teamer Battle Rage a lot of the time, but a lot of the gameplay that it plays out is very tempo oriented. How is this deck so far? Less bad than some of the mid-range decks we've played recently, but I don't think it's quite aggressive enough, consistently enough to be super good. She's dead, Jim. You've killed her. You happy with yourself? You pleased with what you've done? Yeah, Meddling Mage, Reflector Mage. They also play... I meant to play Skyknight there. Yeah, they also play... should have played this so I can start generating tokens sooner. I'm not a big fan of Death Shadow. I feel like the Death Shadow deck, to me at least, when I played it, frequently feels like it doesn't... The Death Shadow deck frequently feels like it's not threat dense enough for me to enjoy. It has problems similar to Izzet Phoenix in my experience, where you just have too many games where you just effectively don't do anything. Dear opponent, please don't play a sweeper, because this is all I've got. Put all my chips in the center of the table. Go. He does kind of look like he's flying a large turkey. I concur. Gobble, gobble. So I'm unsure how close to lethal this is, but it's also not my job to figure it out, so hopefully we get another turn. Maybe it's right to take Golos there. It might be right to just take Golos there. Okay. The second their hits on Golos there were okay, but the second deputy might let us steal because we get to punch through these zombies. Zombie, 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 heh, heh. And did you? I would like this one, please. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. Does Liliana ever do anything? Frequently, no. I feel like might be wrong not having Disdainful Strokes in this board. I don't know that I want to bring in Veto against Golos. I have the broken down shells of Hollow One, Hagak, and Mardu Pyromancer. I have no idea where to go. Well, there was a black-red deck that was very similar to Mardu Pyro that top-8'd the Open this past weekend. I would start there if you want something fair. As far as Hallowed One is concerned, I think you can start with Insolent Neonate or Collective Brutality in that shell. There's an updated Faithless Looting free version of Hallowed One on my website. As far as Hagak Vine is concerned, if you want something that's more graveyard-based, I think Dredge is still very good. There's been a few. There's an updated version of Dredge on my website as well. There should not be any Faithless Lootings anywhere in the modern decks on my websites or Hagaks. If I missed any, let me point them out, but I'm pretty sure I covered them all. Counterflux is the name of the card you're looking for, Captain Command. Pretty easy mulligan here, no red source. Tocatli Honor Guard, no red source again, but Honor Guard means you can sign me up. I guess Honor Guard plus Deputy Detention's a little awkward. It's a little awkward. I think Honor Guard's worth bringing in here, though. Did Dredge win the Classic? I'd believe that. I'd believe that. Dredge isn't fun to play. Am I crazy? I actually really like playing Dredge. I don't like playing against hate cards, but the actual deck itself I find mechanically enjoyable. And that's super subjective. So, like, if you don't enjoy it, like, you know, you do you. That's the Legion's End is so vomit-inducing. Why does Legion's End get the one out of my hand, too? That's so stupid. I guess I should have kept the Deputy just in case something like that happened. It's unfortunate. Tajic. Tajic plus Vindicator is a good 1-2 punch here, though. Them finding another land they already have a copy of is good for us here. So I think I want to start cranking Vindicator up before I play this Heroic Reinforcements out. If they don't, that is Trample, opponent. Yikes. Please don't sweep the board. I would like to run you over with my Heroic Enforcement shaped Jeep. That's gonna make some zomboys and girls. Well, if I'd have kept Deputy Detention, we'd have killed them here. But I didn't, so they might have a shot. Heroic Reinforcement is gonna go a long way here, though, because this gets mentored up to a 4/4. So to kill this, they have to put all the zombies on it. So they go to 4 and everything else trades off here. If they have a Golos, they might stabilize here. Trample plus Double Strike is pretty good. Not a third Field of the Dead, so that's good for the home team. And if we lose this one, we were on the draw this game, so we're gonna take another game on the play. Interesting sequencing choice here, because I assume weird. I don't know why they didn't do they not have a third Field of the Dead? Yeah, the Legion's End 2 for wanting us after we mulligan, just a little bit too much to overcome there. Yeah, their mana base does get stretched a little far. I feel like Legion's End takes the card out of your hand because it was printed as a cudgel to let you 1-for-1 Growth Chamber Guardian. But I also feel like Growth Chamber Guardian's not a card they needed to have a cudgel against. Like, I don't think that card's anywhere near oppressive. I'm going to lead on this to bait a Legion's End here, potentially. Oh, we get Frosted on back tomorrow. Is Niv Mizzet Reborn worth investing wild cards? I mean, it's a really sweet card that's reasonably powerful. I don't think that deck is that card is going to ever be a tier 1 card by any means, but I think it's more than reasonable. Taking a little bit of the slow approach here. If they go land Ritualist, it will be pretty sad. There's still 2 colors off of Clarion. It looks like they're like base Sultai. So Ritualist, it's a possibility for their sweeper of choice. Aurelia is like pretty good with Swiftblade Vindicator as well here. Pretty quick clock. And like, even if they hit Soot now, Aurelia survives. Are they dead on board? This will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I do here, this will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's pretty good. We at least have a relatively quick clock here, and more importantly, Aurelia is in the air, so even if they are attempting to stabilize next turn, we'll be able to potentially cut through those last few points of damage. The Legion's End was made as an answer to Krasis. I could see that, yeah, because Krasis frequently draws that. I don't know, I feel like with Narset in the format, that would seem unnecessary, though. I don't know that I have a good answer offhand to why Legion's End soaks it out of your hand. Cards like that you just don't get any option to play around, that like remove player agency and the ability to make meaningful decisions, kind of suck. Sweet. Thank goodness for Aurelia's large booty. Fat bottom girls make the rockin' world go round. Let's get them. That's actually true too, Boshek. That's something that happens. Like, Legion's End could be taking cards out of the hand for something that's going to be printed in one of the upcoming sets, right? Our opponent is also a player of culture and money. For they have money sleeves as well. Money, 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 money. Chandra sleeves are money. With that, cleverly bottomed the Tajic because we knew we were drawing another one. Brick, 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 brick. Rats. Rats. Why you have to have a good hand, opponent? Are we killing my hero? Nope. Alright, and you're dead. And that's why the Vampires deck's good, chat. Remember, for every I drew another history. I don't think we can win, but like, drawing the second history makes me want to give it a chance. If we had bet on the play this game, I bet we could have won. I bet double history heroic reinforcements kills them on the play. Yeah, just not gonna be good enough on the draw though. It's like got a pretty good plan for these aggro matchups. Just like Lyra and Lava Coil in, cut these planeswalkers. Seems fine. Dear Watsy, please explore other ways to get better, be better on the draw. We should find a less degenerate format where our opponent isn't putting 7 mana worth of bombs on the board turn 3, something like that. Well, something. Yeah, Agent of Treachery is like a mass manipulation that's actually good against your Arc Field, Marty. It's real gross. I'm looking forward to Ferocity. Honestly, I think there's a chance that Ferocitodon I think there's a chance that Ferocity might make Yarok Field better because of the metagame shift that it's going to require to happen. Because Ferocity should help beat up the decks that are greedier than Yarok Field. And Yarok Field's interactive enough that it's going to be fine against that a lot of the time, I think. I think overall it could be a net positive. I'm hoping it takes the greed level and dials it back. I feel like Yarok Field is already being respectful to aggressive decks, and forcing other people to do the same will mean a lot of its bad matchups will get out of the format. So, my take on the historic pricing is that I think WotC basically feels like they have two choices. They can either support historic a similar level to what they support standard, but if they do that, they have to charge more for it, or they can make it cheap and treat it like this forgotten extra stupid format that they don't care about, like Hearthstone treats Wild. And I would much rather that historic gets plenty of proper support, even if it costs extra, rather than having it be cheap and not get any support.
Darkness will always return.
Basically, my position is, would I like it to be cheaper? Heck yeah, I would like it to be cheaper. Do I think it not being cheaper is going to be a detriment to the format? Not really in the long term. I think it costing what they plan to have it cost is probably gonna be fine. Yeah, if they didn't have that duress, we hit the land and would have run them down. I don't know, we still have like pretty good attack here, because like this gets bigger too. We don't know what the rarity will be of the cards they're coding, but they've also said all the extra cards will be able to be obtained through playing in events that they're going to put out. So I think that's fine too, regardless of what those rarities are. I also think the people freaking out about them suggesting Brainstorm being in the format being awful, you should play Pauper sometime and feel how awful Brainstorm is when there aren't fetch lands everywhere. Brainstorm, honestly, Brainstorm's probably worse than Serum Visions in a format without fetch lands. It's a decent pickup. All right, so what if I do this? This is 8, 10, 11. So they would jump block here. They jump block here, and they'd take 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's not lethal. I think I'm supposed to kill Sorin. Oh, you know what? I could have sent this here and just sent this at Sorin, right? That's what I should have done. So there's not going to be historic sets. They're going to be adding 15 to 20 cards every quarter directly into historic. Which, if you think about it and compare that number to Modern Horizons, 15 to 20 cards, I think it's like 20 to 30 cards is the number of cards from Modern Horizons that actually had an impact on Modern. So releasing 20 cards directly to Historic is basically like releasing a Historic Masters. because of the number of, assuming all those cards are playable. I think we've died. Yeah, that duress is just a little too much for us. Hey, Bubby, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. All right, let's try one more with this before we call it a day. Which they probably won't be. You don't think all of the 15 to 20 cards are going to be constructed playable? I bet they will be. I bet they'll print actual good cards that end up being somewhat playable. Yeah, I'm super hyped for Historic. Me too, Bubby. I am super ready. Listen, I said this earlier. If Historic was a format that already existed on Arena, we probably just wouldn't play any Standard this month. The only reason I'm playing Historic or Standard right now is because I can't bring myself to go back to only streaming Magic Online. Because Arena is a breath of fresh air for Moto, even when, in a way, you're currently playing Historic. Kinda, Marty. Kinda, you're not wrong. Yeah, this hand is okay. I'm gonna be greedy and bottom of lands here and hope to draw White Source. I am gonna be doing a little bit more Modern, because I am, even myself, I'm more engaged in Modern right now than Standard, but we're not gonna go to 100% Moto. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great full effect. I think there's a lot of people who so for people that don't know my streaming background, before Arena existed, I was a full-time Magic streamer, basically doing only Modern and some Legacy, because there's a big audience of people who only play non-rotating formats in Magic. And I think there are a lot of existing Magic players who haven't touched Arena that regardless of the price of Historic, they're going to finally buy in because they've just been waiting to have a non-rotating format on the client. Like, don't get me wrong, good Standard is fine, but like, good Standard just doesn't hold a candle to good non-rotating formats. It just doesn't. And for reference, Wizards of the Coast knows that. That's why they're charging a premium for Historic. To quote Patrick Sullivan, they're charging a premium because we're addicts and they know it. This card's so rude.
I'll show restraint. I'll protect you.
Once Historic gets its first injection of new cards, I will probably split my time streaming between Standard and Historic. Unless it ends up being rancid. If the format's not good, we can reassess. But I plan to do a bunch of Historic stuff when it drops. Yep, that's a legal card.
Here goes nothing.
What I think the entry cost should be, I don't know. I don't have the data on that. Decisions like what should entry cost be should be data-driven decisions. So people outside of Wizards probably don't have, not even probably, they certainly don't have the information necessary to make an educated statement about that.
before I make you disappear. Oh, I was getting bored anyway.
So we get Deputy of Detention, this Traxos. Deal, no blocks. Okay. Alright. Let's try and ignore the Planeswalker. This lets them draw a card, but I really don't want to give them another Oath Trigger here. If they hit a Sweeper, I'm going to be pretty sad. But if we don't get, like, Ritual of Senator Kaya's Wrath, we're pretty happy. Oath the Gaia plus Vraska. There's a combo. Yep. A fair Keesis deck. What is this nonsense? That's not even lethal, right? I mean, you know you're in a sad spot when you draw Heroic Reinforcements. You're like, you're not good enough, friendo. This does 7. It's so close. So close and yet so far. I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter anymore. I don't really know what they're doing. I guess Lava Coil's pretty good. If they're playing Keesis. Do I want all of these? I don't know what else they could be playing. I probably don't want 4. I probably have a bunch of Traxos. Hey, Pure Picker, thank you for the 3rd of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's fine. Yeah, I guess I don't have to assume they have spells in their hand. Actually, no, they guaranteed, I was dead on the backswing, right? Was I at 9? They had Keesis and they could recast things from their bin, right? I'm pretty sure they had Teferi and their Vraska was going to die, right? So Teferi could bounce Vraska kill a token, Teferi bounce a token, Vraska kill a token, attack me for 10. Because my 2/2s would be tapped. I think we were actually dead there.
I've got it.
Yeah, actually the Black Blade would trample too. Yeah, dead a couple different ways. You made me doubt my concession rate there for a second. Oh yeah, Keesis let them replay Oath as well. Yep. And dead like 6 different ways because of Keesis. Maybe I'm just supposed to draw a card there to try and find another 2-drop.
I've done the hero thing before.
No, they've not officially announced anything. So they teased a couple of powerful cards that they could potentially be considering. But they've not given us any official announcement. Danny the Beast.
Time for plan B.
Yeah, if I'd have drawn a card last turn, we'd have had Hero in play. Which would be pretty good right now.
It seems fortune favors you.
I've got time.
I mean, what's the Teferi doing, Branch? Why do they want to kill the Teferi? It literally hasn't done anything. 4 spaces, Ninja Turtle. What if I told you I built Death Shadow, but for standard? I ask you which card is Death Shadow?
Trust me, I have a plan.
So I was hoping to draw a land there to hero before we Tajiked, but it is what it is. So, here's something I really hope they don't do with Historic. Someone just suggested Inquisition. I hope the plan for Historic isn't combat miserable cards by printing even worse cards. So cards like Inquisition and Thoughtseize can go die in a blaze somewhere and never be welcome in an ideal format. Rather than printing up more obnoxious cards to beat semi-obnoxious cards, just ban the obnoxious cards. Yeah, just get rid of them. The reason we have Teferi to begin with is because they wanted to print a card that beat. It's because they wanted to print a card that beat flipping Wilderness Reclamation. Instead, just ban Wilderness Reclamation. Don't print a card that's more obnoxious. I resubbed after a long lapse to let you know you're wrong about tabs and spaces.
Your light will
Listen, I'll take $5 from you regardless of how wrong your programming opinions are. Key Smash. Thanks for the 12 months. Alright, don't have a Doomblade. Don't have a Doomblade. Don't have a Doomblade. Yeah, we did it! Tabs are the devil. Yeah, I usually use 4 spaces, but yeah, in general, I don't like tabs. The first thing I do when setting up a text editor on a new computer is go into the preferences and say replace tab with 4 spaces. Yeah, I pressed the tab button after setting that preference for keystroke efficiency. I don't hit spacebar four times like a caveman. Come on now. I get the jokes. I just started learning Python. Python is love. Python is life. Python is wrong too. Listen, I gave you a pass when you gave us your crappy opinion the first time. Don't you dare tell me Python is wrong. You get a 10-minute break for that one. That's true. Pick one and stick with it goes a long way. I think it's right to do this rather than trying to hero here. This is a lot of closing power. I've like sat down to try and learn other programming languages that aren't Python, and every time I do it, I get like halfway into a tutorial and I'm just like, I can do this in Python in half the lines. Why am I bothering? So basically, if you're thinking about getting into programming, you should learn C or Java before you learn Python, because once you understand Python, learning C or Java is extra miserable. I use bash like a manly man. Man, at some point, I'll be able to use sed without Googling it, but I don't know when that point's gonna be in my life. I finally use the tar command enough that I don't have to Google which inputs on the tar command give me the desired output. So, I think I just want to stop their board development here. And we'll just play the Hero of Hearthstone here and bounce the Deafening Vanguard.
I know my responsibility. Trust me, I have a plan.
You're a programmer, why not just go work at Watsu and take payment in the form of wild cards? Alright, what am I doing here? Start by plussing this. The question is, am I playing second time Raveler bouncing this again? Am I going Skyknight Vindicator? I might go Skyknight Vindicator. I guess I could just Aurelia too. Maybe I'm just gonna Aurelia actually. And then next turn I can go Teferi plus a 2-drop if I want to. Because she's got a big booty that plays defense and offense simultaneously here, which is ideal. And this attack to force the flip is really good for us. Now, if they have a Sorin, they could throw something at this Aurelia. Like, Dust Legion Zealot plus Sorin's pretty good for them here. Nope, no Sorin, that's great. Alright, so I'm gonna plus this. And then I think I'm just going 2-drop this turn. And then next turn, ideally, I'll get to go... Ideally, next turn, I'll get to go Teferi down tick, second Teferi down tick again. So if I do this, I can mentor here and trade this for this and this. Is that worthwhile? I don't think it is. So I'm going to attack with this and mentor onto it. If they want to trade their flyer for this, I'm okay with that. When they write my opponent's headstone, it'll say they went out of the world doing what they loved, drawing cards. And that's the real victory, right? The real victory is doing what you love. I definitely would have done the same. The real victory. It's the friends we made along the way. Duh. That's the real victory. This hand's a little slow, but it's like pretty interactive. Our opponent mulliganed to 5. Fist pump. The real victory was the Twitch Prime that happened my way along the way. Speaking of sub dollars, September is currently going on. So if you're you're someone that's currently trapped outside of Hoaglandia, new tier 1 subs are half off between now and the 24th. It's a Twitch promotional thing. Alright, who do we set fire to? The lieutenant or the knight? I feel like it's the knight. This card's like pretty annoying. Gifting subs is not half off, unfortunately. Is your last card a draw too? There is, for people looking to get extra value on the deck queue, there is, however, what's it called? Bits are supposed to be cheering 10% extra between now and the 24th as well. So once we start getting Glenalendra, whatever this new set spoilers are, you'll be able to the pause when you realize the thing you just plussed on wasn't a vampire. All right, so what am I doing here? Do I just heroic reinforcements and kill this this Sorin? Nah, let's get another history lesson going here. This is the second time we've been plague mared today. Me at Legion's ended, just cast down, deal. Red Rover, let these dorks come over. This puts me to 4, and 4 is very different than 3 in this matchup, because 4 means we're dead to 2 Sorin activations instead of 1. My heart is too hollow to care. Oh, I can't block this. Oh, crap. Oh, I forgot we couldn't block it. Oh, no. Oh, chat. Oh, I forgot we couldn't block it. Oh. I even mentioned we were taking the hit because we would be too, they drew the, awkward. Plague Mare confirmed good when your opponent is an idiot. That explains why people are playing it. It's really good against dumb people. Hey, Christopher. Thanks for doling out some sub-gifties. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday review. Thanks for keeping me around. That's unfortunate. This is a tough matchup, so I'd be surprised if we could effectively win 3-0. Although this is a pretty okay start for us. If we hit another land, heroic reinforcements will let us like pressure on Sorin next turn potentially. Okay, yeah, it's a good start for us. Yeah, no blocks. Yeah, well then. Like, we went to 5 this game, but their hand is not particularly good. I guess Plague Mare's pretty bad for us here.
This isn't a fight you can win. I've got it.
Yep. There's a horse.
I really should have seen that coming.
It's been fine, Marty. I don't know, I'd be hesitant to call it good, but like, it's capable of some aggressive draws. Like, heroic reinforcements just like steals you a lot of games, right? Yeah, it did not trade for any cards is a good observation. We're still in a pretty commanding spot. Was getting turn 1 by Fair and Balanced Dio Brand this week, and I thought to myself, this is probably Stoneforge Mystic's fault somehow. That card's ruining the format. Thanks for the tier 2 wafer lord. I appreciate it. Welcome back. This is my horse. My horse is amazing. Mr. Manad, thank you for the 6 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. He didn't read what Thorley says. All right, so we managed a 3-0 vampires there. Thoughts on this? Gideon was kind of medium. I feel like this card is probably something I would look into replacing in this deck. Is my big takeaway from this. I feel like I'd probably like cut these. Believe it or not, Teferi Time Raveler felt like it overperformed. I'd probably go up one of those and then like go up an Aurelia, because Aurelia was like pretty reasonable in all of her games. And probably just like a random Lightning Strike perhaps. That seems pretty fine. I think something like this seems reasonable. I think I'd probably add another Tocatli Honor Guard to the sideboard. Very small changes. I don't think this deck's ever going to be tier 1 by any means, but I think as like a tier 2 deck, it's capable of some aggressive draws. Deputy of Detention's a very good card in the format. History of Benalia plus Heroic Reinforcement lets you steal games that you're otherwise not really going to be in, so I think that felt pretty okay overall. I might consider some Disdainful Strokes from the sideboard. I think Dovin's Veto's like kind of at an all-time low for its power level, and a lot of the decks I would want counterspells against, I want those counterspells to tag cards like Golos and Yarok and Cavalier of Thorn, so I think Stroke would probably be my counterspell of choice. Even though they don't trigger Hero, I think the effect is just that much more powerful. They're probably worth doing that. I'll upload this one to the Stream Decker, so people that want this as the, to give this a try too, that would be my recommendation. At any rate, that's going to be it for me for today. Between now and when rotation happens, I'm going to be doing a little bit shorter days for Magic since Hype's kind of at a low point. I'm going to take it easy and enjoy myself a little bit. I am going to go late on some days. I'm going to go late on some days doing other non-Magic games. Like tomorrow, I think I'm going to do some Warhammer TCG to wrap things up. But today, I'm going to be done right about now. That's a good idea, Marty. I'm going to do that right now because I'm going to